I have a new blog post out that I've been working on literally for weeks, but very on and off, mostly off, because it's a fairly long blog post, and I really wanted to get everything in there that I could. So today I had time to come back to it and finish it, so I'm really happy about that. And it's called How to Structure a Blog Post. And I decided to write it because I saw some of you, some of my clients not blogging, some not even understanding that they should blog. And as a result, I think they had trouble establishing themselves as an authority in their field. So they weren't getting getting across the type of expertise that they had. And of course, blogging isn't the only way to do that, but it's an important one. And also, I saw clients writing blog posts that didn't help them meet their business goals or help their readers meet their own goals. So sometimes they were kind of like a rant, or they were just sort of more for themselves than they were for their readers. So people just didn't even know really how to write a blog post. Now, I did a 5-day workshop, a 5-day challenge a couple of months ago, and it was about how to create a connection with your audience. And in that, I had people write 10 blog posts, starting from some kind of PLR, private label rights content, and set them up as drafts and schedule them for every 2 weeks. So that was 10 blog posts every 2 weeks. That was 20 weeks or 5 months worth of content. And then write a little email announcing it, schedule those, so that they had this automated thing for 5 months that they would at least every 2 weeks send something out with some valuable information. They could do whatever they wanted in between it. And that was really popular. We had several people do really, really well with that and be really excited about this idea of what I call batch processing for blog posts. So, but in that, when I was doing that, I had to come up with, because they were working with these kind of generic PLR articles, and I realized I had to show them how to structure a blog post, how to write it, all these different things. And so I took some of that information, all this content. I've been blogging for a really, really long time, like since 1999. And so all of the stuff about blogging came out. And so I wanted to put some of it here so that you get the most value of it. So the question is, if I'm asking you if you blog, and if, why or why not? And if you do blog, do you sometimes struggle to publish regularly? I think everybody does, I do, certainly. Though it was a time, really years, where I did every week. I did 2 blogs every single week. Like at one point I was doing 3 blogs every single week. Yeah, AutoCAD, PowerPoint, and Change the World Marketing. But AutoCAD, then I stopped doing that. I sold that content. But anyway, I don't do that so regularly anymore. But if you're struggling with it, so why? You don't know what to write. Each blog takes you a long time, or it's not a high priority for you. So I want to help make it easier for you, to explain to you how to write a blog post, how you structure it so it meets your needs and the needs of your readers, what components you should include. But before I go there, you need to understand why you're blogging. So this is really important, because I've had some people kind of question if it's important. There are so many reasons to blog, and they're both long-term and short-term reasons for blogging. So here's some reasons. To grow your business, so gain subscribers. In other words, people come to your blog and either they see an opt-in form on the right, or you have it at the bottom of the blog post, they subscribe. To gain customers and clients, you might have a call to action to buy something, or to register for a product, for an event, whatever. And you can sell your own products, and you can sell products of others through an affiliate arrangement. You might have put an affiliate link there. And I do some of those things in this blog post as well. So that's one reason: grow your business, gain subscribers and customers or clients. Number 2, to establish your expertise and authority. So this is just really important. This is where you really lay down what you stand for, what you know, and it's a permanent record there that people can find forever. So to build your brand and visibility of your business, again, it gets the word out there. To bring traffic to your website. So when people search for the topic of a post, if your blog post comes up, then people find it, people who don't know anything about you at all, of the life of your readers, whether it's their business life or their personal life. So you're doing it for your readers. to help improve the life. I said that right. To provide a permanent record of your writing as compared to emails that you send out, which have a very fleeting lifespan. So things like emails and tweets, they just kind of come and go, but this is a permanent record. It's there. I said that already, but I think it's really important. And then finally, is source material for articles you write or videos you create, and then you can post them elsewhere on social media or other sites like Medium that publish articles. And you can even turn a series of posts into a free book, a free offer, or a book, or a course. I don't sell it anymore, but I had an ebook called How to Get Video on Your Website. That was from a series of blog posts, and I just put it together into an ebook, like really, really easy. So, again, I've done things like I had 2 blog posts about how to find podcasts and how to be a podcast guest, how to grow your business through podcasts. I turned that into a free offer. So blogging, I don't know if you've heard the term content marketing or information marketing or education marketing, but blogging is one part of that. You're educating your readers so they can make an informed decision about what to do next, including making purchases from you. So once you know why you're blogging, you can start thinking about how to structure a post. And there are 4 components to every blog post, should be. One is a story or an introduction, your own experience, the experience of a client, a story in the news, or the reason you wrote the post. So I start this blog post that I'm talking about with why I wrote it, because it came out of some things with my clients. And so that's like a little introduction, a little story that explains why it's important. And that's what you want people to know. Why is this topic important? That it is the problem that your readers need to solve. And so in this case, the problem is that they're not blogging. They don't know how to structure a blog post. And by the way, when you do a presentation, this same thing applies. You start it out with some introduction that explains why this is important. That's number 1. Number 2 is the main content, right? And you want to be sure to give value. What's in it for your readers? Will it help them attain their goals? Does it show that you have the expertise to help them? Okay, so that's your main content. Then number 3 is like a little conclusion. I call it the lesson of the blog post. So people it's what they should take away. It's like the moral of the story. It could be a summary. It could point out what's most important, just some kind of summary or lesson. And then finally, a call to action. What people should do next to implement the lesson. The call to action can be to share or comment, to download a free offer, to buy a product, to attend an event, or just steps to follow. This is the next thing that you should do. So those are the 4 things, and I'm going to go into each one a little bit more. So the story or the introduction, like first of all, you want to hook them. It's a hook to capture their attention. It explains why it's important, why they should read further. And if you could do this in some kind of story format, that will be more engaging. And a story doesn't have to be a big deal. So like at the beginning, I say, I decided to write this post because I saw many of my clients weren't blogging, and some didn't even understand why they should blog. That's a little story. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like a storybook. So again, it could come out of a conversation with a client, your own experience, and this not only engages people, but it puts it into context. And we learn the way the brain works is that we connect new material to existing material, things we already know. This is a principle of adult learning. And so you want to give them some context so that they can relate to it. And then, and this is a more technical thing, but you always want to add an image at the top of the post because that also engages people and attracts their attention. And when I did that 5-day challenge, we talked also about those technical things, about images and so on like that. So that's number 1, the story introduction. Number 2, you provide value with your main content. And it should be valuable. It should answer a question or solve a problem they have. Remember that they might come to your post by searching online. And so they don't know who you are. They just want an answer to their query, to their search terms. And if you provide it, they'll be interested in more information from you, maybe even in buying your products and services. And it's true that some blog posts, they're just rants of the blogger, and these can get a lot of attention. So certainly you see this with, for example, politicians, something like that. And these are okay for occasional posts when you want to attract controversy, which is not a bad thing to do, to show you're a thought leader, perhaps expand your reach. But in most cases, you want to provide actionable content that actually helps people, answers their question. You want to answer their questions, make issues clear, help them make decisions. Rants can get tiresome pretty quickly. So number 3, you make the lesson clear. So what that means is that what lesson should they take away? That can get lost in the forest of information and data. So you want to end your blog post, like this again applies to speaking as well, with a conclusion or a summary. And just don't assume that they'll get the point on their own. Even if they do, the summary helps the learning process. When people do online courses, educational theory, at the beginning you say, this is what you're going to learn. And then at the end, this is what you learned. Or now you should be able to do such and such. And so your readers will remember better, your post better and for a longer time. So there's this kind of funny statement, tell them what you'll tell them, and then tell them what you told them. It was originally for speaking, but it applies to a blog post too. And then the summary might motivate them also to take action, which is important, which brings me to the last component, number 4, which is always have a call to action. So you want to go back to the why of your blog post. Why are you blogging? You might want subscribers. Other times you want to sell a product or get registrations for an event. We talked about those things. Or you just might want people to comment and share the post. You can have multiple calls to action, such as links to other blog posts of your own or outside resources. But when you're intentional about your strategy, your call to action kind of falls into place. And in fact, you can start with the end. So know your call to action first and then write a blog post to lead to that call to action. There is more to making your blog post a success. One of them is using keywords. So researching keywords and using them in your blog post. What terms do people use to search? So if you want people to find it, that's a valuable thing to do in advance. And there are people who, that's how they write their blog posts, based on keywords. Post types. So I have in this blog post, I have a link to another blog post called 7 Post Types That Get More Shares and Links. It's some research that was done, and it's really, really valuable. The one that I use here is called a picture list, because it's a list of different things with a picture next to each one, kind of like that. It's not numbered, but and then promotion. You need to promote your blog post, and I have a system, a free offer called Double Your Reach, and you can download it. I have a link to it in the blog post, and I will put the link in the comment. And it just helps you to promote your blog post. So the upshot of this is, and this is my summary, is that when you're ready to write a blog post, there are 9 steps. Did I do that right? 9 steps. Okay. 9 steps. Decide why you're blogging, and it could be different for different blog posts. Research keywords and keyword phrases and put them in your blog title, your headings, your text. Decide on your call to action. Choose a blog post type that gets more clicks and more likes and more shares. I had that link to that blog post about that research. So that's number 4. Number 5, write a quick outline of your those 4 points, those 4 components: intro, main content, summary, call to action. And I recommend just doing it within WordPress and then saving it as a draft, and then write the full post by filling in the outline. So if you just put in those headings of those 4 parts, then you just go below the heading, press enter, and you write heading, you press enter and you write. And then that was 6. 7 is add images. 8 is to publish it, and 9 is to promote it. So that's the summary. So what's next? If you have trouble writing blog posts, especially if you have trouble coming up with topics, or you know the topic, but you have trouble just writing it out, then I recommend using Done For You content, also called private label rights. And I have 3 resources in that blog post. Those are affiliate links of mine, but they have multiple niches, so I think they're a little bit more variable. So I have 5 steps about for things for you to do. So brainstorm 10 topics, create a headline for each of the 4 components. You create a title for the blog post, but then create a headline for each of the 4 components, save them as drafts, and then when you're ready to complete a blog post, just follow those steps that I told you, those 9 steps, and then you publish it. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that if you have blog posts that you didn't use this system for, you should go back and edit them and make sure they have those 4 components in them. So I'd love to hear what you think about this, whether you can do this. I'd love you to leave a comment. There were already a couple of comments on this blog post. It kind of happened quickly. And then please share it as well. So I would appreciate that as well. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.